Amelia Earhart didn't disappear because of aliens. She didn't vanish into a secret government prison, and she wasn't taken out by some grand conspiracy. She disappeared because of human error, bad decisions, and a system that later chose reputation over truth. And the real story is far more uncomfortable than the legend we were taught. Welcome to Hazel Eleanor. We are told Amelia Earhart was a flawless aviation pioneer, a brilliant pilot, a fearless technical genius, a woman so skilled that her disappearance could only be a mystery. But here's the problem with that story. It collapses the moment you examine the details. And that's not sexism. That's engineering. That's aviation reality. By the time Earhart attempted her world flight, she was flying one of the most technically demanding routes on Earth. Long distances, tiny islands, no visual landmarks, and total dependence on radio navigation. Yet she never fully mastered the radio direction finder she was relying on to find Howland Island, not had trouble with it. Didn't understand its frequency limitations. Her equipment could not take bearings on signals above a certain frequency, around 1500 kilocycles. So what did she do? She asked the Coast Guard to transmit at 7500 kilocycles. She could hear the signal, but she could not get a bearing, because the radio literally could not do that. That's not bad luck. That's not mystery. That's misuse of equipment. And here's the part people really hate admitting. She tested the system the day before in New Guinea. It didn't work. Instead of grounding the flight or fixing the setup, excuses were made. That's not bravery. That's overconfidence. And in aviation, overconfidence kills. So when Amelia Earhart failed to find Howland Island, it wasn't shocking. It was predictable. She was navigating blind, with a tool she didn't fully understand, toward a speck of land in the Pacific. Eventually, the fuel runs out. Physics always wins. Now, let's be clear. This isn't where the story ends, because while Earhart made critical mistakes, the rescue response was a disaster. Radio signals were heard after her disappearance. The Navy and Coast Guard initially believed they were real. Then, when they couldn't find her, those same signals suddenly became bogus. Why? Because it was easier to say she crashed and sank than to admit search errors, bad assumptions, missed opportunities. Institutions protect themselves first. Always. And yes, there was a government cover-up, but not the one conspiracy lovers want. The Coast Guard captain wrote an after-action report that was brutal. It blamed Earhart directly. Her decisions, her technical failures. That report went up the chain all the way to the Secretary of the Treasury. And it was buried. Why? Because releasing it would destroy Earhart's reputation, embarrass the Roosevelt administration, reignite outrage over money spent during the Great Depression, and damage an upcoming election. So the report disappeared. The myth survived. Here's the uncomfortable irony. Amelia Earhart may not have been the elite aviation genius we were sold. But the image of Amelia Earhart changed lives. Women enrolled in engineering. Women entered aviation. Women challenged expectations. The legend was exaggerated, but the impact was real. And that leaves us with a hard question. Do we value truth? Or do we protect symbols because they make us feel better? Amelia Earhart wasn't a god. She wasn't a mystery. She was a human being, flawed, ambitious, courageous, and wrong in critical moments. And maybe the real lesson isn't about her disappearance. Maybe it's about how badly we want heroes to be perfect, even when the truth is far more human.